They may serve our city, but many of them don't live here. A CBC analysis of data from Windsor Police shows that a majority of officers do not live in the two municipalities that they work in. So what does that mean for residents? CBC's Jonathan Pinto, he's here with more. Jonathan, let's go through some of those numbers there. What did you find?
Chris, so the Windsor Police Service employs 639 people. 486 are officers, the people patrolling the city of Windsor, and since January, the town of Amherstburg. The rest are civilian staff and cadets. So through a municipal freedom of information request, we discovered that only 47%, that's less than half, of Amherstburg officers actually live in the town. In Windsor, the numbers are even lower, with just 41% of officers living in the city. So for this story, I made an interactive chart where it shows where Windsor Police employees live, broken down by officers, civilian staff, the Amherstburg detachment, and people dedicated to Windsor. In these graphs, the green represents the employees that live in the city of Windsor, and the various shades of red show the employees that live in Essex County and beyond. You can take a look for yourself at cbc.ca/Windsor.
Jonathan, lots of people commute to work. Why does this matter for police officers?
Well, it's something that came up during the Independent Street Checks Review. That was a report released this year by Justice Michael Tulloch that called for the elimination of random street checks, also known as carding. Now, one of the judge's recommendations was that police services should try to hire officers who live within the community that they serve. Commuter officers, he said, were seen as being less knowledgeable and less representative by residents. It's a recommendation that Annika Smith, the director of the new Center for Cities at Windsor Law, agrees with. She says that while it's not the only way to do it, living in the community that you work for is certainly a good way to develop a deep understanding of a place.
Jonathan, are there benefits to commuter cops, though?
There are. So Holly Compo says yes. I spoke to the sociologist at the University of Alberta who studies police culture, and she happened to grow up in Tecumseh. She told me that there are job-specific reasons for officers to live and work in different places. Avoiding encounters with people that you've arrested is one of them.
If that officer is out and about with their families, let's say they have young children, right? You know, the city of Windsor is not that large. It's actually quite small. And so when your entire job involves interacting with its residents, it's not unlikely that you could encounter these folks outside of your shift, right? And so again, some police choose to spend their off-duty hours maintaining that distance.
Now, Compo did say that she felt it was important that the individuals at the top of the organization, such as the chief, should live in the community that they serve.
So, Jonathan, where does the chief live? Is she in the community?
I reached out to Windsor Police Sergeant Steve Betteridge to find out, and he told me that he lives in Windsor, as does Chief Pam Mizuno. But he said that residents shouldn't be concerned by where officers, as he put it, sleep for the night. Basically, he said that officers work 10 to 12-hour shifts in our community, and that from the time they are a cadet, they develop a strong knowledge of the community that they serve. Betteridge also added that they try to recruit future officers from within the community, which involves going to schools in Windsor and Amherstburg.
Thanks, Jonathan. The CBC's Jonathan Pinto here in our studio.